Legion Tactical Cutlery.
Hold the line!
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Rugs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back, troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, and I've got something pretty cool for you today. I personally feel this is more of a self-defense blade. This is the NedFoss Pioneer in 14C 28N steel. I'm just going to do a little light work with this. You know, I really believe that this particular model is more for, you know, self-defense, backup type knife. I'm just going to do a little light work, you know, do some cutting of some materials, some plastics, and see how it holds up. But I'm still excited to test it out. Always excited when I have a new collaboration. So let's get to testing. What's everybody carrying today? Well, I'm carrying that NedFoss. In fact, I'm carrying it as a pocket fixie. And I tried it on the small of my back. I kind of feel that ring kind of, you know, protrudes a little bit, and I'm not properly concealing it. So I took off the clip, put it in my pocket, and it is a pocket fixie. Let me know what you guys are carrying. Veterans, active military, as always, just want to say thank you very much for your service. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's go over quick specs. Once again, this is the NedFoss Pioneer. Overall length, 7.95 inch. Blade length, 3.4 inch. Blade material, 14C 28N. Blade hardness, 59 HRC. Blade thickness, 3.05 millimeters. Handle length, 4.55 inch. Handle thickness, 0.44 inch. Handle material, G10. Weight, 2.85 ounce. Features full Tang. Comes with a Kydex sheath and a steel belt clip. Quick close-up, you could see just the geometry of this thing. You know, I think it's, me personally, compared to the other smaller TANTO type blades that I have, this is more suited for just a self-defense backup type knife. All right, but I'm just going to do a little bit of light work with this. Just cut some plastic material, some rope, maybe do just a little bit of slight hand batoning with this. But you could see how thin that handle is, all right? It just is made to mold into my hand. And when I put my thumb here on this gym thumb ramp right here, man, I feel, you know, like this is more for, you know, a fighting type knife, but I still like it. You know, I like this ring. I wouldn't put my finger here, me personally, but I do like it when I hold it this way. I feel like there's a lot of support for my pinky, and I can even just stretch out my hand a little bit and feel good about holding this knife. Now, no hot spots as I hold it in different configurations, you know, case of tactical fighting type situations, God forbid, but you never know, man, you never know. I like this knife, man. I like this knife a lot for that purpose. Now, let me just quickly show you the sheath here. Now, I did have this on the small of my back. I carried it a couple times. That ring, it protrudes. It protrudes, and you know, my son says that he could see it, and I want it concealed. But this is the pancake sheath that it does come with. It did come with a belt, a metal belt clip, but as of right now, I'm carrying it as a pocket fixie. I feel more comfortable carrying it that way. I don't want to carry it as a neck knife, but it's just a plain and simple sheath right here, okay? No rattle, no noise. It's not going to come out. However, in my pocket, I can quickly deploy it if I need it for whatever reason. Let's test it out. All right, troops, look, I have to admit, I really don't know 100% how I would properly test this. But I'm just going to do my thing that I always do. Just a little slight batoning. You know, maybe you have a few pieces of wood that you find. Nothing big, you know. And I think this might be good. I mean, I could cut fruits and vegetables, etc. But, you know, I just want a little bit more of a challenge. So hopefully this will give you a better idea. All right, so it's splitting this wood. Now, this is some wood that I tested out the other day on another knife. I figure, you know, I might as well use what I got. All right, and if you needed a, you know, maybe you're just taking it on a hike, you know, but you're a little bit more savvy of self-defense. You want this on your hike, and you still want to do, you know, a little bit of work to make a fire or do a little carving, what have you. I mean, not the best knife, but if this is all you have, this is what you decided on, you know. Let's do a little bit of front part of the blade right there. All right, so real quick, this is that kiln dried wood. All right, seems to be doing okay. Just all right, so we split it that way too. Now that's the kiln dried wood. Now I have some other wood. I started making a notch with this thing, so let me, I don't know if I can get this all on the camera, but let me see if I can make this smaller by batoning something a little bit bigger. Or actually, what I should do is do this. Do a little V-notch right here. Again, light work, nothing heavy duty. Try different parts of the blade. All right, if you want to start even just to make a notch, all right, you could just use this to make the notch. Or, well, it's not ready yet. Need a little more, just a tad more batoning here, V-notch. And then we could split it. And make smaller pieces. Again, if you have some kind of stove, packable stove that requires wood, and I've seen many content creators take their stove out into the wood and do the exact same thing that I'm doing with, you know, some branches they found. Let's do the front part. All right, they throw it in their firebox stove. They light it up. They've cooked rice. The guy was fishing, and you know, he made a point from the stick, and he slid the fish through the stick, and he just had it cooking, roasting on the fire. Let me see if I could. Yeah, see, it's sharp enough that you could just, you know, use your hand here. If you didn't have anything else, it's okay. Let's see if I could do it with this little bit thicker piece. Yep. Okay. There we go. All right. So again, plenty. Here's another piece of wood. This is a different species. I purposely got this. Let's make another notch in here. This is a nice little bit of a challenge right here. As you can see, I'm not going hard. I'm not going insanely crazy. Just a small bit of tapping. Okay, we split it. Let me just pick that other piece up, and I want to make some small pieces. Let me see. This is pretty hard, this wood. Let me see if I could use my hand here. Nope, it's a little harder. So good. All right. There we go. Let's do it again. All right, so the blade looks straight. Again, nothing heavy duty, but I did do a little V-notch batoning with this. I did do a little vertical batoning with this. Once again, okay, this is This is that kiln dried wood. Let me quickly see if I could just do this. There we go. Getting everything out of the way so I give you guys a clear view of everything. Okay, once again, utilizing the whole blade. That looks good. So far, so good. The bark came off. Good, so you guys get a better view here. All right, here we go. Let's once again take a look. Let me just, right here in front of the camera, let me just move a lot of this stuff, and we will do a little bit of feather sticks with the different pieces of wood that I just worked with. All right, I got a few different pieces here. But again, you need to do a little carving. Nothing major, nothing heavy duty. Still pretty sharp. I know I didn't abuse it a lot. It's still pretty sharp though. Now you can make the individual curls. That's one species. Try this one over here. A little bit different wood. I mean, it's doing it, you know, so it's nice and sharp. Okay. But again, for me, this handle, man, it's just, you know, it's just, I just think that this knife is a self-defense type knife, you know what I mean? But push comes to shove. Seems to be kind of capable, right? Okay. That's another species. Here's something else over here. This is that kiln dried wood. These other two are not. You can also see the difference in color of the wood. All right. Very good, very good. Now I started using that tip here. Let me just move this out of the way. I started using that tip. I guess if you need to get real specific, you know, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe you're just practicing your whittling. I'm just using this tip right over here now to dig through this wood to get all the way through without hopefully doing too much damage, right? And you might have a lot of time on your hand, and this is what you want to do. That's a pretty nice straight edge right there, and you just keep on going. And then maybe you're just trying to make a little pattern here, and I don't want to get hurt, so just being very careful. Just going to use that tip to accomplish your task. You can see I am making like a little L shape here. Maybe you're making some kind of primitive trap of some sort. You know, it's going to take a little while, but Or maybe, you know, you just, after you get this done, take this knife and you do a little batoning right there. Okay, see? That worked out okay. And now we're going to take this part right here. I know I got this in the way right now, but take this little part. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. But, I mean, you get the idea, okay? I mean, you just, if you want to do a little bit more intricate work, you know what I'm saying? So, that's too bad. Let's check out this point. Using that point to pivot to make this hole. See, I did go through. That was something that I wanted to do with this particular knife. Again, I probably should have taken a piece of fat wood, but okay. Point's good, you know. And now you could, this was fat wood, you could stick some rope. Now this is what something you might want to tie around your neck so you don't lose it, you know, and then you take the little shavings off the fat wood and you're good to go. But the point did pretty good, so. All right, I mean, I think that's pretty good. I think that's the extent of the outdoor stuff I would do. Let me just see. I don't think the spine is going to do much. Yeah, not going to do anything. So, you know, if you are taking this out hiking or in the woods and you want it to do some work with scraping, let me try the jimping. That ain't going to help you. But again, for me, this is purely a tactical self-defense type knife. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't use it this way. But let me get some fat wood and let me see if I can at least scrape the fat wood. All right, got a little piece right here. Try the jimping. Wow, the jimping is really nothing. I thought the jimping would have worked out better, but nope. That jimping is not good. But the spine with the fat wood seems to be decent. Again, it might take you a little while to get the amount that you need. But just an example right here. Right? At least it's doing it with the fat wood. Now again, nobody's, you know, you buy it your money. Take the work sharp sharpener. You could make a burr on here. If you have a proper belt sander, again, make the burr on here. Up to you what you want to do. I'm sure it would benefit greatly. But as it stands, as is, it's okay. Let me get my ferro rod. We'll test out the ferro rod. All right, got my generic ferro rod here. Now let me just take off some of this resin so that the edge has a chance. Okay, let me see if I can do anything now with this. Nah, Nope, not a lot. Nope. Nope. We're very lucky we got this. So, all right. So now, look, you know if this is a knife that you would want to take out into the woods or not. So it did some work. The point did okay. I mean, I made a hole, you know. I did a little stabbing with it for the feather sticks. I mean, you know, seems okay. It's 14C 28N steel. So it's a little bit tougher, but again, I'd rather, you know, have to defend myself with this, stick it into some form of flesh in a defense type of purpose. But so far, so good. Now, let's test out some rope and other type of materials like that. Looking at the footage, I forgot to make a feather stick, so let's do it real quick. Again, I don't feel like I have the bushcraft type of a handle, you know, to do what I want to do here. I'm doing it. It's just not. It doesn't. You know, it feels a little awkward doing this kind of work. It's still capable of doing it. You know, I love the knife, but again, in my head, I have it. You know, once these things get in my head, I have a purpose for some particular knives. And this knife right here, I just want to carry it for self-defense, you know what I mean? But I want to do right by you folks out there and show you that this knife can do some work, okay? So, small example here. Now, you know, I was doing this a little bit foolishly. What I should have done, I did this off camera. What I should have done, if I needed to make something this exact, right? I started like as though if I was making a notch, okay? And then I used the point to go down and make that specific, I guess, geometry that you wanted on that piece of wood. Again, you might be an advanced primitive hunter of some sort, and you have a specific trap in mind that you need, and it requires this geometry. So I use this to make the notch or the angle that I wanted, then using the rest of the blade, all right, to do whatever I need to do. And you know, again, I'm not a primitive hunter. I have no idea, but just giving you guys, you know, an idea of how I would use the tip out in the field, in the woods. I wish I had some sapling, you know, for the bark. I would make some strips out of the bark for, you know, rope. And I've seen a content creator do that, use his tip. Now, this is a perfect tip to do that. Okay, now, I rambled on long enough. I think I got my point across, hopefully. I mean, this knife can do the outdoors. Would it be my first choice? No. You know, no. But it's doing the job. I mean, it's still pretty sharp, you know, still doing the job here. No point. All right, I'm good, man. I'm really good. I know that I could do work with this, but all right, let's move on. A few items here. Let's just go through them and test it out. Paracord. Again, you're a soldier. In the military, you need something lightweight but dependable. There you go. That works. Here's some other material. Some kind of cloth, cotton. I don't know exactly what this is, but maybe you're on a ranch, you're working on a ranch, and you've got this material that's tying something, you can cut it up. Lightweight knife. Here, I have this wax string. All right. That's just really easy to cut. Okay, that's good. I have synthetic rope here. Right, you take it off the twine, you cut it off the twine, and then you do whatever it is that you need to do on the campsite around the house. Easily done. Some seatbelt type material. It's doubled up, so it's pretty thick. Law enforcement, first responder, you carrying a knife like this, might be able to help you out. Some of this material right here. Maybe you take this to a construction site. I don't know. Okay. That cut right through without a problem. Let me see if I can get this. It's kind of short, but I have some grip. Let's see how this works out. Okay, twist tie, done. Again, I guess if you need to cut it, it's wrapped around something and you need to cut it, you know, a certain way. So you put your point in between, and then maybe you twist and you cut the plastic. It's a little flimsy here. There we go. That's what I wanted to show everybody. There you go. An example of that point. I have a little bit thicker rope here. Okay. Perfect. Let's see. All right. I don't know. Maybe you're a cop. You got somebody in the house tied up with this stuff. Who knows? I don't know. I got some of this tubing here. I'm just going to use a little piece using the tip to cut through. Need something precise. Okay. I don't want to get hurt, so if I want to cut between these lines here, I'm going to use that point. Nice and easy. There we go. All right. I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe you need to wrap this around a pipe or something. But you don't need to cut through, you need to be a little bit more precise. There you go. All right, so it's cut through, and I didn't have to cut through the other side. Just, again, an example of using that tip, and then I have cardboard here, right? And then if I need to use that tip, I don't know, maybe, I wish I had some sheetrock. Maybe this would work good on sheetrock, but another example of using the tip here. Whoops. You're in a warehouse doing a lot of cardboard cutting, might be good. Okay, troops, I'm good to go with this knife. I'm going to just strictly use this from now on as a, backup defense type knife. It's going to be in my front pocket, left or right, depending on what I'm going to carry, but she did good. There you have it, troops, the NedFoss Pioneer. For me, as a tactical self-defense backup type knife, I think it did just fine. That point did okay. I did some detailed work. I'm pretty confident that that point could do a lot of finer work. And I think if you were to opt to take this out into the woods, it might do you some justice. Again, you could be a hiker on the Appalachian trails, worried about self-defense type situations. Well, this is definitely a knife for self-defense. And as you can see in front of you, it did a little bit of work. It's up to you to decide how you want to use it. But for me, this is a nice concealed pocket carry fixie. and that's the way I'm going to carry it. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, as always, just want to say thank you very much for taking the time to check out my channel and my videos. Let me know what you think about this knife. Hopefully I showed you, some good testing here. Let me know. Let me bring awareness, everybody. Hashtag 22 a day, hashtag 22 a day no more. There are veterans and active military. Once they get out of the service, they do face a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, there will be slides that you can pause on, call those phone numbers, surf those websites, seek the help you all have earned and deserve. Troops, Legionnaires, new recruits, at the ready, hold the line, take care.
Legionnaires!